Hello, hello, my bookworm friends. Kim here, and welcome on back to Bookworm Buzz. To those of you who are new and who are checking out this channel for the first time, a huge welcome to you guys. If you really enjoy it here, if you think our reading taste might be similar, please do me a favor and subscribe. And to those of you who are coming on back and you've been with me from the beginning, I know this is still a relatively new channel, but I just wanted to give a shout out to all of you and to say thank you so much for your support, my friends. It means the world to me. Right, now moving on to today's video. It seems that these videos just come around so frequently, meaning that the weeks are just flying by. So as I sit here now, I am going to be filming my May. Yes, May. Can you believe we are heading towards May 2025? So today's video is going to be my May 2025 most anticipated releases video. Now, I have a range of books to share with you guys today. I think I have 2 or 3 thrillers. I have a couple of horrors. I have a contemporary fiction. I even have a sci-fi novel today, guys. And as many of you know, I am not prone to reading sci-fi, but there is one that is making it onto today's list because it sounds so good. And then obviously I also have some fantasy novels to share with you. The only genre that I don't think, I'm just thinking about it. No, I don't think I have any romance to share with you in this video. Nothing in that sort of genre caught my eye for May, and as many of you also know, romance is not really my big thing. But I do read across genres, and so I am going to be talking to you about all these different genres today. So my friends, let's kick things off. There are a total of 10 books coming out in May that I am super excited about. Obviously, there were a lot more. My list could have been a lot longer, but I try very hard to limit myself to 10 books in these videos, just because I do like to read to you little bits from the blurbs, and so I don't want the video to get ridiculously long. So I think for today, and as I do in most videos, I am going to kick off with the thrillers. So the first thriller that I want to tell you guys about is called 1 in 4, and it is by Lucinda Berry. Now this one is expected to be released on or about the 13th of May. As I've mentioned already, it's a thriller, mystery thriller, that type of read. And I am going to read to you now from the blurb so that you guys can obviously decide, as I'm going to do with all of these books, whether any of these are of interest to you and whether you want to add them to your TBRs. So this one says the following. When a reality show about former child stars overcoming addiction culminates in murder, their therapist must take a closer look into their lives and her own. Dr. Laurel Harlow can't believe she's agreed to do a reality TV show, but her years as a chemical dependency counselor and personal history with the show's director make her the obvious choice. Treating a mansion full of former child stars on the road to recovery is the tallest order of her career, especially when one of them turns up dead while the cameras are still rolling. In a house full of narcissists vying for the spotlight, everyone's hiding something, including Laurel. An investigation could expose a past she'd rather keep buried, but among the attention-starved patients, only one of them is a predator, and Laurel is skilled at spotting a predator when she sees one. As she hunts a killer in her present, the unsettling truths of Laurel's past are forced into the light. But this time, she'll face her demons head on. She'll stop at nothing to expose a murderer, even if it means risking everything she holds dear. So this one has many aspects that I'm excited about. I love the fact that they're doing this reality TV show, it sounds like. I don't think I've read a book, anything like that. Then, of course, there's a murder. Had to be. This is a thriller, right? And then I presume we're going to go through the process of trying to uncover who the murderer is. So this one sounds awesome. This one sounds amazing. Definitely making it onto my list to watch out for in May. Then next up on my list of thrillers to keep your eye out for in May 2025 is this one by Frida McFadden. This is her latest one called The Tenant. Now, many of you may know that Frida McFadden tends to split the crowds. People either love her or they can't stand her. I personally love her books. Are they the absolutely best quality writing? No, obviously not. The thrillers do lean a little bit sort of popcornish, so you could call them popcorn thrillers. But the ones I've read, I have tended to find so fun. I mean, that's the main word with Frida McFadden. Her thrillers are fun, they're fast-paced, and I've always enjoyed them. So I am very much looking forward to this one, and it had to make my list. And I must tell you, even though it's not yet published, you know, people do read advanced reader copies, and this one already has a 4.42 as a rating on Goodreads. It is expected in early May. The publication date is expected to be around the 6th of May. And yeah, this will be one that I will definitely be picking up and that I'm looking very forward to. So let me tell you about it, my friends. So the blurb says as follows: there's no place like home. Blake Porter is riding high until he's not. Fired abruptly from his job as a VP of marketing and unable to make the mortgage payments on the new brownstone that he shares with his fiancée, he's desperate to make ends meet. Enter Whitney, beautiful, charming, down to earth, and looking for a room to rent. She's exactly what Blake's looking for, or is she? Because something isn't quite right. The neighbors start treating Blake differently. The smell of decay permeates his home, no matter how hard he scrubs. Strange noises jar him awake in the middle of the night, and soon Blake fears someone knows his darkest secrets. Danger lives right at home, and by the time Blake realizes it, it'll be far too late. The trap is already set. My friends, it's a thriller, it's a mystery thriller. I think it sounds amazing. As I've already said, Frida McFadden writes highly entertaining, very easy to read novels, and I will definitely be picking this one up. And then next up on this list is the latest one from Alex North, who I must just tell you, I think is a highly underrated author. I have read so many of Alex's novels, and I think they are excellent. I generally love these novels, and so I can't wait for this one. This one is called The Man Made of Smoke. It has an expected release date of the 13th of May, and another one that is getting amazing reviews from those who have read Arcs. It's currently sitting at a 4.26. So this one is one of my highly anticipated novels, not just of the month, but actually of the entire year, and I can't wait to get my hands on this one. Right, so here we go. The latest gripping serial killer thriller from the New York Times best-selling author Alex North. Dan's life has been haunted by the crime he witnessed as a child, narrowly escaping an encounter with a notorious serial killer. He has dedicated his life since to becoming a criminal profiler, eager to seek justice for innocent victims. So when his father passes away under suspicious circumstances, Dan revisits his small island community, determined to uncover the truth about his death. Is it possible that the monster he remembers from his childhood nightmares has returned after all of these years? With his signature shock and suspense, Alex North brings us The Man Made of Smoke. In turn, emotional, introspective, and utterly terrifying, this is a story of fathers and sons, shadows and secrets, and the fight we all face to escape the trauma of the past. Yes, sign me up. It sounds excellent. Give me traumatic histories, give me traumatic pasts, give me a little bit of a thriller / maybe even horror vibe. Serial killers. I love books about serial killers. So guys, this one is a must for me, and I'm going to be getting to it sooner rather than later. And now moving on to the novels that lean slightly horror-ish, but they do straddle a couple of genres actually. So I wouldn't put either of these two that I'm going to talk to you guys about now purely in the horror genre, but let me tell you about them and then you can also decide for yourself. So the first one is called The Devils, and this is by Joe Abercrombie. This one is expected to be released on or about the 13th of May. Now, this one sort of straddles the horror genre and it also straddles the fantasy genre. So I actually really enjoy both of those genres, and so I'm looking forward to reading about this one. It also does seem as if this one may be the first novel in a series. That's fairly unusual in the sort of horror genre. Most books are sort of standalones, but this one appears to be book number 1 in a series called The Devils. So, I mean, the book is also titled The Devils. But anyway, let's see what this one says. So, my friends, we have this. Brother Diaz has been summoned to the sacred city, where he is certain a commendation and grand holy assignment awaits him. But his new flock is made up of unrepentant murderers, practitioners of ghastly magic, and outright monsters. The mission he is tasked with will require bloody measures from them all in order to achieve his righteous ends. Elves lurk at our borders and hunger for our flesh, while greedy princes care for nothing but their own ambitions and comfort. With a hellish journey before him, it's a good thing Brother Dias has the devils on his side. Wow, I think that sounds so interesting, so different, so fascinating. There are so many elements there just in this blurb that tick boxes for me. So, yep, tick the horror box, yes. Tick the fantasy box, yes. Talk about devils, dark things, yes, I'm all for it. Monsters, unrepentant murderers. Guys, it sounds dark. It does sound dark, and as many of you know, that's one of my favorite things. When it comes to thrillers, horror, fantasy, I'm not yet, or I don't have enough experience yet to say, but with my thrillers, my horrors, and so on, I love them to go dark. This one, The Devils, is definitely one I'm looking forward to, and I can't wait to pick up a copy. And now this next one that I want to talk to you about is also one of my most anticipated reads of the year. Yes, of the year, not just of the month, because this author is also one of my favorite authors. So here we have We Live Here Now, and this is by Sarah Pinborough. Now, this one is also described as a horror, but again, it straddles different genres. It seems to be a horror, it seems to be a bit of a mystery, and it seems to be a thriller. So sign me up. I specifically love horrors when they straddle different genres, and so I'm so excited for this one. From the minute I heard about it, I couldn't wait, because this author has been such a hit with me. So this one is expected to be released on or about the 20th of May. It's also getting very, very good initial reviews. It's averaging a 4.2 at the moment on Goodreads. So this here, my friends, is what we have. After an accident that nearly kills her, Emily and her husband Freddie move from London to a beautiful Dartmoor country house called Larkin Lodge. The house is gorgeous, striking, and to Emily, something about it feels deeply wrong. Old boards creak at night, fires extinguish, and books fall from the shelves, all of it stemming from the terrible presence she feels in the third floor room. Oh my gosh, guys, I think this one is going to have aspects of the supernatural or the paranormal. That gets 2 ticks. Give me a horror/thriller with paranormal aspects, tick, tick, tick. I am excited. But anyway, carrying on. But these things happen only when Emily is alone. So are they happening at all? She is still medically fragile. Her post-sepsis condition can cause hallucinatory side effects, which means she cannot fully trust her senses. Freddie does not notice anything odd and is happy with their chance at a fresh start. She, however, starts to believe the house is haunted by someone who has been murdered in it, even though she can find no evidence of a wrongful death. As bizarre events pile up and her marriage starts to crumble, Emily becomes obsessed with discovering the truth about Larkin Lodge. But just as the house has secrets, so do Emily and her husband. Thank you. That's all we need to know. I mean, that is the whole blurb, but I'm sure you can tell and I'm sure you can see why I am so excited for this one. It ticks so many boxes for me. So yes, guys, this one I will be picking up very urgently. Now, moving on, moving away from the thrillers and the horrors, this next one I'm going to talk to you about is described as a contemporary fiction, and it is called My Friends by Frederick Buckman. Now, this is an author that so many people love. Many people adore his books. They have read them all. They love them. They are 5-star reads. The strange thing is, I have not actually loved this author's reads. I have had a good few of them that have been actually DNFs. But this one does sound very good and it's getting amazing reviews. So I have added it to my list and I will definitely be reading it. However, if I don't like this one, then I think me and Frederick Buckman will be done because, yeah, I mean, I've tried quite a few now and they just haven't been for me. But like I say, he's immensely popular. And so I'm sure there are going to be many of you out there who are going to be super excited for this one. This one releases in early May, around about the 6th of May. Like I've mentioned already, it's described as contemporary fiction. The blurb is quite long, so let me just see. I might just read to you guys a little bit from this one. So basically, the catch says as follows. It says Frederick Buckman returns with an unforgettably funny, deeply moving tale of 4 teenagers whose friendship creates a bond so powerful that it changes a stranger's life 25 years later. Most people don't even notice them. 3 tiny figures sitting at the end of a long pier in the corner of one of the most famous paintings in the world. Most people think it's just a depiction of the sea. But Louisa, an artist herself, knows otherwise, and she is determined to find out the story of these 3 enigmatic figures. 25 years earlier, in a distant town, a group of teenagers find refuge from their difficult home lives by spending their days laughing and telling stories out on the pier. These 4 lost souls find in each other a reason to get up each morning, a reason to dream. Out of that summer emerges a transcendent work of art, a painting that will unexpectedly be put into 18-year-old Louisa's care. As she struggles to decide what to do with this bequest, she embarks on a surprise-filled cross-country journey to learn the story of how the painting came to be. The closer she gets to the painting's birthplace, the more she feels compelled to unleash her own artistic spirit. But happy endings don't always take the form we expect. In this fresh testament to the transformative power of friendship and art. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned to you guys that this one is again another book getting amazing, and I mean amazing reviews. At the moment, it's averaging at 4.59, which is massive. It means that the majority of people, the large majority of people that have read this book have given it a 5-star. From the blurb, I'm not 100% sure it's for me. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to love it. So it is one that I will add to my TBR, obviously, but it's not one that I'm rushing out necessarily to buy right now. But I'm sure many of you will be interested in this one. And then calling all of you fantasy lovers, I have 2. Is it 2 or 3? No, I've got 3. I've got 3 new release fantasies that are coming out in May that I'm super excited about and that hopefully you guys are going to be excited about as well. So the first one I want to speak to you guys about is this one with the most gorgeous cover. This is called The Knight and the Moth, and the author is Rachel Gillich. Now, this one is expected to be released on the 20th of May, and it appears that it is going to be book 1 in a new series. The series is called The Stone Water Kingdom. So this is the first book, and again, it is getting amazing reviews. It is getting a 4.62, and that is from 732 ratings. So very excited for this one. Yeah, I mean, I think the cover looks absolutely beautiful, and I think the story itself sounds really good. And again, I'm a bit of a sucker for series, so I think I will definitely need to pick this one up. Right, so this one is also described, I must tell you guys, as romantasy. So for those of you not familiar with that word, it is a joining of 2 words, romance and fantasy. So romantasy books are books where you have a fantasy story, but a whole lot of romance in it as well. So, my friends, what can we expect from this one? Sybil Delling has spent 9 years dreaming of having no dreams at all. Like the other foundling girls who traded a decade of service for a home in the great cathedral, Sybil is a diviner. In her dreams, she receives visions from 6 unearthly figures known as omens. From them, she can predict terrible things before they occur, and lords and common folk alike travel across the kingdom of Trom's windswept moors to learn their futures by her dreams. Just as she and her sister diviners near the end of their service, a mysterious knight arrives at the cathedral. Rude and devilishly handsome, the knight Roderick has no respect for Sybil's visions. But when Sybil's fellow diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but to seek his help in finding them. For the world outside the cathedral's cloister is wrought with peril. Only the gods have the answers she is seeking, and as much as she'd rather avoid Roderick's dark eyes and sharp tongue, only her heretic can defeat a god. So I think this one sounds divine. I mean, obviously we can see that there's going to be a bit of a love aspect there, but I really do like this concept of the omens and that this woman can see into the future and can see what's going to happen. So yes, as far as the fantasy novels go, in May, I'm very excited for this one and I'll definitely be picking it up. And then next up in the fantasy genre, we have this one, which is called The Incandescent, and this is by Emily Tesh. This one is expected to be released on the 13th of May, also getting fairly good reviews at a 4.22, but it only has 112 ratings, so I suppose we can't get excited about that. Having said that, this one says and has been classified as a fantasy and also a dark academia novel. Now, I love the concept of dark academia when it comes to fantasy novels, and so this is why this one specifically holds my interest, and I had to add it to this list. So this is what we have here. Dr. Weldon is the director of magic at Chetwood Academy and one of the most powerful magicians in England. Her days consist of meetings, teaching A-level invocation to 4 talented, chaotic sixth formers, more meetings, and securing the school's boundaries from demonic incursions. Weldon is good at her job. No, Weldon is great at her job, but demons are masters of manipulation. It's her responsibility to keep her school with its 600 students and centuries-old legacy safe. And it's possible the entity Weldon most needs to keep her school safe from is herself. So yes, not a huge amount to say about this one. I like that this one also seems to go a little bit dark perhaps, and there is a dark academy or academia type vibe to this one. Sign me up, I'll definitely be checking this one out. And then last up in the fantasy genre is this one that I actually only heard about recently. So this one is called Aftertaste by Daria Laval. It's releasing on or about the 20th of May. It gets a 4.2 currently on Goodreads, and this one also straddles a few genres. It's described as fantasy. It's also described as supernatural, which you guys know I love, and it's also described as romance. So there's going to be a little bit of all of those things, and so that sounds very interesting to me. So this first little bit of the blurb is what hooked me the most. What if you could have one last meal with someone you've loved and someone you've lost? Oh, emotional. Okay, so anyway, Constantine is a haunted man. His father died when he was 10, and ghosts have been hovering around Kostya ever since. Kostya can't exactly see the ghosts, but he can taste their favorite foods. Flavors of meals he's never eaten will flood his mouth, a sign that a spirit is present. Kostya has kept these aftertastes a secret for most of his life, but one night he decides to act on what he's tasting, and everything changes. Kostya discovers that he can reunite people with their deceased loved ones, at least for the length of time it takes for them to eat a dish that he's prepared. He thinks his life's purpose might be to offer closure to grieving strangers, and sets out to learn all he can by entering a particularly fiery ring of hell, the New York culinary scene. But as his kitchen skills catch up with his ambitions, Kostya is too blind to see the catastrophe looming in the afterlife. And the one person who knows Kostya must be stopped also happens to be falling in love with him. Set in the bustling world of New York restaurants and teeming with mouth-wateringly good writing, Aftertaste is a whirlwind romance. Sorry, getting a bit tongue-twisted here. So Aftertaste is a whirlwind romance, a heart-wrenching look at love and loss, and a ghost story about all the ways we hunger and how far we'd go to find satisfaction. And it's a debut novel, you guys, and I love reading debuts. I think this one sounds so fantastic. I think it sounds wow. Let me just leave it at that. And then, my friends, the last book I'm going to be mentioning in today's video is a sci-fi novel. Now, I know that is very bizarre for me to have a sci-fi novel on my list because I am not generally a reader of sci-fi. However, when I heard about this one and I read the blurb and just heard what it was all about, I decided to add it to my TBR, and actually I'm pretty excited for this one. So this one is called The Memory Collectors, and the author is Diet Meserve. Now, I think there's time travel in this one, and when we read the blurb now, it's going to refresh my memory, but I am a little bit of a sucker for time travel novels. I have enjoyed a lot of time travel novels, and so that is probably why this one has made the list. But anyway, this one is expected to be released on the 20th of May. It is classified as science fiction firstly and time travel secondly, so that is obviously why it made my list. Right, so this says, 4 strangers time travel to the past and find themselves stuck on the day all of their lives were changed in the stunning speculative mystery from award-winning film and television producer Diet Meserve. Okay, so moving on. What would you do if you could spend an hour in your past? So already, how interesting does that sound? I mean, really think about that. If you could go back in time and spend 1 hour in your past, guys, that concept already is just, yeah, it's just making my heart race. But anyway, four strangers in the beach town of Ventura, California are about to find out. Elizabeth aches for one more precious hour with her son, who died in a senseless accident. Andy is desperate to find his first love, who vanished after a whirlwind romance. Logan craves the rush of surfing and mountain climbing, yearning to reclaim the freedom he lost after a misstep landed him in a wheelchair. Brooke is looking for an hour of relief from the guilt of an unforgivable mistake. Wow, guys, that is already just sounding amazing. Anyway. Enter Aeon Expeditions, the groundbreaking time travel invention of Mark Saunders, which allows some lucky clients the chance to spend an hour in their past. Even though Aeon's technology ensures time travel can't alter the future, all four clients, including Mark's ex-wife Elizabeth, yearn to revisit the hour that changed their lives forever. But when their hour extends beyond 60 minutes, they find themselves stranded in the past. As their paths intertwine unexpectedly, they unearth shocking secrets hidden in the shadows of their shared pasts. All their lives were shattered the same night on a secluded highway by the beach. As they delve into the hidden truths of that pivotal hour, a startling revelation emerges. They were not alone. Someone else was present, harboring deadly intentions. Oh gosh, you guys, this one sounds so good. Oh, there are so many. I must say, May is actually turning out to be one of my most favorite months when it comes to new releases. There are so many that I've spoken about in this video that I'm literally so excited for and that I can't wait to buy. This is another one. I think this sounds fantastic. The concept of going back to your past for an hour, if you can even try and think about that, there are probably so many moments in the past that you would like to go back to. How do you possibly choose one? But anyway, as the story says, they then get stuck in the past and obviously unraveling all these traumatic and bad things that happened to them. So another book that is just ticking the boxes for me. Right, my friends, on that note, I am now going to love and leave you. As I've already mentioned, I am so excited for so many of these. I really do genuinely think that as a number of these are released, I'm going to be picking them up. So what are you most excited for, my friends? If there are any of these that really sound interesting to you, please comment down below in the comment section and let me know which ones you are looking most forward to. Other than that, my bookworm friends, happy reading. Bye.